is the phase of hominoids. Hominoids emerged from a subgroup of primates by about 24 million years ago, and they usually have smaller brain size. They have a larger body and don't have tail at all. And they do have a longer period of infant development and dependency amongst the hominoids. They are mostly quadrupeds. Quadrupeds means walking on all fours, four-footed animals with having flexible forelimbs. So apes and humans are examples of hominoids. You can have a glimpse of hominoids. Hominoids don't have tail. They have limited skill of hands. Hominids. Hominids do have a larger body. Now, the next stage is called hominids. Hominids were emerged from hominoids, and they have belonged to a particular family known as Hominidae, which contains all forms of human beings. And they do have a bigger brain size than that of hominoids. They usually adopted upright posture and bipedal locomotion. Bipedal. They usually walk on 2 feet. And they have flexible hands. So the flexibility of their hands enabled them in making or using of tools. So hominids are further subdivided into branches known as genus, out of which Australopithecus and Homo are popular, and most of these include several species. Both of these include several species. So there are 2 supporting lines of evidence which suggest an African origin for hominids. African apes were looked similar to that of hominids. They were most closely related to hominids. And next, the earliest hominid fossil genus Australopithecus have been discovered in East Africa and date back to about 56 million years ago, whereas fossils found outside Africa are no older than 1.8 million years ago. For example, I am 18 years old and you are 6 years old. So who is older? You are. No, I am older than you. You are younger than me. Got it? So likewise, I've mentioned here the fossils found in East Africa is dated as 5.6 million years ago. So this fossil has dated older than that of the fossils found outside African region. Hominids, they adopted upright position, right? So such is 2 evidence as to why hominids had an African origin. Australopithecus, the stage of Australopithecus, it is derived from both the Latin and Greek words, and the term Australopithecus is derived from Latin word austro, which means southern, and a Greek word pithekos, which means ape. So as a whole, Australopithecus means the southern ape. Got it? So this name has particularly given by scientists as the earliest form of humans still carried a number of similar features of an ape, such as having the small brain size, large back teeth, and limited skill of hands. Here, B belongs to a species known as Australopithecus. You can find out the features of Australopithecus. Okay, large teeth, right? Larger brain case than that of ape. And next, they have outward protrusion of jaws to some extent. Australopithecus. Okay, so these are the features possessed by Australopithecus. They do have long forelimbs, curved hand and foot bones, which allowed them to jump on trees, spend their life on trees, and mobile angle joints also help them to spend their life on trees, and they were restricted from leading upright walking. That means they are not bipeds. They didn't adopt bipedal locomotion. So as the time passed, a number of new features have been developed due to the increase in the routine activities undertaken by Australopithecus, such as tool making and long distance walking. And here you can have the major differences between Australopithecus and Homo. I've made a comparison of both these two. A smaller brain size, whereas Homo did have larger brain size. They do have heavier jaws, and Homos did have jaws with the reduced protrusion, right? Australopithecus have larger teeth, whereas Homo has smaller teeth. They have a limited skill of hands, whereas Homo has less limited skill of hands. Australopithecus are quadrupeds, whereas Homos are bipeds. They were originated around 5.6 million years ago, whereas Homo originated from about 2.5 million years ago. Now, list out some major differences between Australopithecus and Homo. Next, the Ice Age round. So, with the beginning of the glaciation period, when large parts of the earth are covered with snow, there were major climatic and vegetation changes occurred. So, that led to the reduction of temperature as well as rainfall. Grasslands areas had been expanded at the expanse of forests, which led to the disappearance of Australopithecus, particularly adapted to forests. So the origin of new species were emerged, who were better adapted to drier forms of conditions. So this led to the origin of a new species called Homo. So this is the new topic, several types of Homo. In the past, you have already studied about different phases dealt with human evolution, right? So the scientists have differentiated among several types of Homo. The names particularly given to these species are either derived from the location or from their typical characteristics. Classification of Homo. The first Homo is known as Homo habilis, and they were known as the tool makers. Got it? So the fossils of Homo habilis had been discovered at Omo in Ethiopia and at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. So since they were credited with making tools, thus they were named particularly as tool makers. Homo habilis, okay, carrying the stone tool at its hand, And that tool was made by him. Skull of the Homo habilis. The second Homo is known as Homo habilis. So the scientists strongly believe that Homo habilis built campfires. They actually didn't know how to make fire since they didn't have fire making skills. Thus, they had to wait until they could find something burning in and around their areas or from the natural causes such as the lightning strike. So the campfire areas was used as a sleeping area by Homo habilis. Homo habilis fossils have been discovered at Omo in Ethiopia and at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. And the next Homo is called Homo erectus. Homo erectus adopts what? Upright posture. Upright posture. They are two-footed animals. And he also carried objects at both hands. Homo erectus. So the earliest fossils of Homo erectus had been discovered either in Asia, Africa, Copifora, West Turkana, Kenya, Mojo-Khado, Sangiran, and Java. So as the finds of Homo erectus discovered in Asia dated later than those found in Africa, it is probable that hominids migrated from East Africa to Southern and North Africa to Southern and Northeastern Asia and perhaps to Europe, sometimes around or between 2 and 1.5 million years ago. As I stated before, since the Homo erectus adopted upright walking, thus they were particularly known as the upright man. So they had been survived for nearly 1 million years. This is the map of South Africa, okay? Kenya is here. Kenya, you can find here the location of Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia. Homo erectus. Okay, they also knew how to make fire, Homo erectus. Nightly campfire has become possible on a routine basis, and they also set up campfire in order to, hold social gatherings, okay? And they also gathered around the fire each and every night and began to share the stories, particularly of the activities carried out by them or their hunting experience. And next, I would move on to the Homo heidelbergensis. Homo heidelbergensis, Heidelberg city, which lies in Germany, right? Heidelbergensis. The name itself has been derived from Heidelberg city. Got it? So this is a skull or fossils of Homo heidelbergensis. As I stated before, the fossils of Homo heidelbergensis were found in Heidelberg, which is a city lies in Germany, and it was also named as Homo heidelbergensis. And they belong to a particular species of archaic Homo sapiens because they carried a number of similar features. Got it? Because they have combination of features with that of Homo erectus with more modern features. They belong to a species of archaic Homo sapiens because it combines features of Homo erectus with more modern features. So Homo heidelbergensis lived approximately 500,000 years ago. The first specimen was found in a quarry in Germany in 1907. Other specimens have also been found in different places around the world, including Zambia, Southern Africa, Tanzania, parts of Northern Europe as far as north as England. And they had wide distribution, having found either in Africa, Asia, and Europe. So many research usually consider Homo heidelbergensis a possible ancestor of both modern humans, Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, or Homo neanderthalensis, map of Africa. So on the political outline map of the world, locate and label the following: Zambia, Southern Africa, Tanzania, Europe, England, France, Spain, Asia, Africa, and Kenya. And the fourth Homo is known as the Homo neanderthalensis. It is also known as Neanderthal man. So Neanderthal man lived in Europe and they probably lived at the same time as Homo sapiens. Homo neanderthalensis, they are taller, stronger, and marvelous hunter. They often use caves as the main center for conducting activities or main center for their residence. And discoveries of Neanderthals indicate that they particularly decorated their dead bodies and painted them carefully. So it seems that they were the first homos to think about the possibility of life after death. And then there emerges Homo sapiens. So Homo is basically a Latin word which means man, although they were women. So it is also known as the wise or thinking man. They were capable hunters, painters, and food gatherers. Homo sapiens, as I stated before. Okay, this is the skull. Okay, capable hunter, gatherer. Homo sapiens. This image clearly shows what? The Homo sapiens had been hunted this particular animal with the help of this piece of stone tool. And this Homo sapien is totally engaged in painting an animal which might have been familiar to him or might have been in thought of hunting it. Homo sapiens. So the earliest fossils from Europe, namely what? Homo heidelbergensis, Homo neanderthalensis, they both belong to the species of archaic Homo sapiens. So the scientists have been discovered their remains either in Europe, Asia, America, and other parts of the world. So just have a glimpse of this, the age. These are the different ages mentioned on the basis of the type of man emerged on Earth's surface, and these are the continents to which these types of man emerged. Okay, 36 million years ago to 26 million years ago, primates were emerged. In which continents? Continents of Asia and Africa. So likewise, you can study this table by having a look at it carefully. This map indicates the migration of Homo sapiens population from Africa to different parts of the world. This dotted red line indicates, okay, the movement of Homo sapiens population to different parts of the world. And the earliest fossils of modern humans, where were they found? Where were they found? Ethiopia, South Africa, Morocco, Israel, Australia, Borneo, France. Okay, when was it found? When was it found? Okay, so when clearly indicates the time period date. Yeah, the time or period or date, year on which these earliest fossils of modern human beings found. Okay, next fossil. So you must have known the meaning of the fossil. So this fish has embedded in a piece of rock. Now next topic is names for the fossils. How are they named? So the names for the fossils are derived from the places where the first fossils of particular type were found. Homo heidelbergensis. Okay, so heidelbergensis, as I stated before, Heidelberg is a city located in what? Germany. So the fossils which were found in Heidelberg, a city in Germany, were particularly known as Homo heidelbergensis, and they particularly belong to a species of very old or archaic Homo sapiens, and they usually had a wide range of distribution either in Africa, Asia and Europe. For example, a particular fossil has been found at a particular location called Sanjay. Okay, so what? Archaeologists or scientists or paleontologists usually pick the name of very place for that fossil, such as by naming that particular fossil as Sanjay thalensis or Sanjayensis. Sanjay thalensis. So next, Homo neanderthalensis. The fossils which are particularly found in Ninder Valley, which lies in Germany, were known as Homo neanderthalensis, and they belong to a species of very old Homo sapiens. Neanderthal had been occupied most parts of Europe, Western and Central Asia, roughly beginning from 130,000 to 35,000 years ago. And they had been suddenly disappeared in Western Europe from about 35,000 years ago. So the historians didn't have the exact reason why have they disappeared. Thank you for your mindful attention and patience. I would conclude here with today's first day history class. I wish my students would attempt all the given questions that I have shown through the slides. So in the upcoming, second history class, I will be covering up the remaining textual topics of the current chapter. Till then, bye. Take care, be safe, and stay healthy.